This is the first video of 2021, so let's look back to 2020, to everyone's favorite year, except for demons, of course. They got slain a lot. Let's talk about the most popular mangas in 2020. This is the list of top 10 best-selling mangas. This is a very interesting list. Notice how different the stories are from one another. This shows how educated the audience in Japan is when it comes to stories. So it is not about what is trending or a certain genre, but it's about the story. If the story is good, then the people will embrace it, no matter what the story is about. Demon Slayer is a supernatural and horror story. Kingdom a historical war story. One Piece has its own universe. Haikyu a sports story. Jujutsu Kaisen is a dark fantasy. The Promised Neverland is a mystery story. 1/5 of the Bride is a comedy. My Hero a story about heroes. Spy Family about spies. Attack on Titan is a post-apocalyptic scam. Overall, they are very different from one another, and the fact that they are all popular is unbelievable. I don't know if this is possible in other countries, and that's due to the audience in Japan being well educated and recognizing a story when they see it. Mangakas must be really happy since they can write whatever they want and still be successful, not being forced to write one or two types of stories, because otherwise the audience would not care. Now let's talk about some of these best-selling mangas individually. Usually the most popular stories are the ones that are happy and light, and understandably so, since this is entertainment and it is easier to entertain with those types of stories. But not in Japan. Demon Slayer is not the first dark and horror story that has become very popular. Besides the thing that I mentioned earlier story-wise, I think one of the reasons why Japanese are so accepting of horror stories is maybe due to their beliefs and religions when it comes to the supernatural and afterlife, etc. Since there is no absolute God and angels working to keep the supernatural elements in check. I think that's one of the reasons why these stories have a greater appeal in Japan. If you are a Japanese, let me know in the comments. Why do you think horror stories are so popular in Japan? I am sure there are many theories and I don't think it is just one thing. But it would be very cool if it is just for story reasons and nothing else. Anyway, now let's talk about Demon Slayer. I do remember watching the first 2 episodes and I got good impressions from it. It is a very focused story, not many characters or storylines, and the world of the story takes place doesn't matter. This type of story is very friendly and easy for the audience to get into it, but at the same time there is a huge risk of failing completely. Since the story is about one thing, and if the audience is not on board with that, then there is nothing else to get them on board. That's why you need a master writer. Or should I say a sniper writer. A sniper can hit the target with just one bullet. The same is with this type of story. The writer has only one chance to get the audience on board. And not just he did that, but went beyond that, breaking all kinds of records. It's great to see how this story has captivated so many people, and not just in Japan but around the world. The last time when this did happen was when One Piece was in Marineford arc, but since then the numbers are down. Now let's talk about Kingdom, which came in 2nd place. This is great to see. I said earlier that stories like Demon Slayer are very friendly and easy for the audience to get on board, but when it comes to Kingdom, it is the opposite. So seeing the success Kingdom is having is weird and hard to believe. But again, this is possible because how knowledgeable the audience is when it comes to stories. And Kingdom is an amazing story. It has many characters, but the story focuses on one thing, and that is war. The fact that the story keeps getting better, bigger, and more interesting arc after arc, it is incredible. I am so impressed with what the writer has achieved. I did talk about that in more detail in my other videos about Kingdom. If you have not watched them, then I recommend you do so. It was very unfortunate that season 3 got interrupted and did not resume when other animes did. But it could be that they did the manga a favor. The anime did stop in such a crucial and important moment, the whole world of the story was turned upside down. Before this arc, they barely were managing to win against just one country, and now they are facing 5 countries at the same time. Insanity. I cannot wait for the anime to resume in the spring. Now let's talk about One Piece, which is currently in its best arc ever, according to Oda Sensei. So much so that the Marineford arc is nothing compared to one arc. Yeah, I don't think fans are agreeing with him. The numbers say otherwise. I wonder why. Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't a good idea to turn the story into a cartoon. Oda said that the war in Wano will be so much better and bigger than in Marineford. I have only one question. Where is this war did he talk about? When Luffy starts to fight the captain of the opposite crew, this means that the arc is in the final stage. Oda is very strict with his formulas. He follows them like his life depends on them. So I'm asking again, where is this war that he did hype so much? Or maybe he meant to say this cartoon battle between the supernovas and the Yonkos instead of a war. It has been a couple of chapters since this cartoon battle has started. Are the supernovas winning? No. Are the Yonkos losing? No. So what's the point? So far it looks like a filler fight. In the past I did criticize Oda for not doing his job as a writer and skipping important events in the story, because it is about storytelling and not story skipping. If that's the case, then we all are writers. I can skip as much as I want. Here's an example. There was this war where both sides had 100 million armies and each army had 1 billion men. The war was epic. Or two legendary characters fought each other for 10 billion years. It was epic, and you need to trust me because I'm not going to show it. See? Now I'm a writer just like the legendary Oda. After 1000 chapters, Oda did decide to show a battle with characters that are considered the strongest in the world. And after seeing it, I understand why Oda has skipped stuff in the past. And part of me wishes he would have skipped this too. It is embarrassing. He's not even trying to do something. This is just sad. No wonder that he takes so many breaks. He has lost interest in the story. Have you heard someone say that I love what I do so much that I'm going to take as many breaks as I can? Anyway, I already did talk about the problems with One Piece in other videos, so I don't want to go through that again because it makes me sad. This story had so much potential, but unfortunately, nothing was used. Like a Ferrari being stuck in first gear. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.